I will have a closer look at the latest spinning reel from Handing called M1 Pro. So let's find out together what's pro about this reel. In general, this pro version is based on M1 reel that I reviewed and used, and it's been, a good budget offering. This one has quite a few improvements though, and important ones too. So let's dig in to those improvements first. The biggest one I would say is screw-in handle. So budget reel, has a screw-in handle. That's fantastic. And with this comes, way sturdier feel of the reel. But I will come to that a little bit later. Another improvement is this line clip, which is, round, and it has plastic, I believe, plate. So for guys who are fishing with a feeder and clip is important, you will like this one a lot. Then it has a carbon drag washer instead of felt in this one, and also it has better drag because of it, and it has 2 ball bearings to support the spool. So drag system is really fantastic on this budget reel. And they are saying this reel can be used for light salt fishing applications, and for that there is a rubber or silicone seal here, and also there are silicone seals from both sides, those white bits, if you can see that. Those are silicone gaskets. If I would try to poke them with a little screwdriver, they are soft. So again, I can't confirm how well this reel is sealed, but they're claiming that it should be okay for light salt fishing applications. So those are more or less the differences I can see, like just by looking at the reel. And I forgot to show you those carbon washers. You can actually see them. Like if you would look inside of the hole there, you would see carbon washer. I won't, take it apart. I can see it right here. So yeah, quite a few improvements on a budget reel that actually they did sell quite a few of this original one, and now they introduced upgraded version and called it Pro. So yeah, let's have a closer look since we covered all the differences. So now let's have a look at the moving parts, and let's begin with a knob. Knob is actually the same as far as I can tell compared to original one, and let's see how much movement it has. So just observe that gap, and there is quite a bit of movement. So in this area it's quite average, I would say. It spins well, but I would say it needs at least 2 washes here. Then let's have a look how gears are put together. So this one, gears were fine, but since it's not a screw-in handle, handle itself was a problem when it comes to the feel of the gear. So let's check here. I'll grab onto the rotor and just lock it to the frame with my hand, and we'll look for that rotational wobble first. We'll screw it in fully, and now let's try to mess about with it. So rotational wobble or slop leeway is almost non-existent, so very, very solid. Now let's look for that in and out one, and there is a little one. Hope you can see it, but it's not bad at all. Not bad at all. I would say, like the same as on most divers that do cost like 100 pounds or 150 euro, something like that. You'll find exactly the same slop, and this one had more, more when it comes to rotational one. See? And then in and out was a little bit more too. And again, they changed the design of the handle, and now it's fantastic. Really, the reel feels way more like solid. So now over moving parts, let's have a look at the rotor. I believe it's plastic or nylon. Feels like it anyway. And I believe the main material of the body of the reel is plastic or nylon. But it feels, I mean, the main body feels solid. I can't feel any flexes, feels all right. Now, when it comes to the rotor, I can bend it a little bit, but again, it's very similar to Daiwa Xeon V or whatever, nylon ones, it's the same. So now, bail arm, this one is solid. It's not budging, and it's painted in black, and it's thick, so feels good. It has very loud crack sound. For the people who are into this kind of a thing, this will be like a music to their ears, I guess. The spring in this block feels, like a well balanced. It's not too powerful, it's not sloppy. Yeah, feels good. So we covered moving parts. Another moving part. So basically the cap for the spool, right? This one is kind of interesting. You have a listen for the sound. It sounds definitely better than this one, since it has carbon washers, and the assembly is a little bit different too. But yeah, it's way louder, and also it's kind of semi-fast drag, if you will. So I need I will go to minimum more or less now. Yeah, now it's about minimum, I would say. And I need 180 degrees to go to very, very, high braking or stopping power. So yeah, it's almost a quick drag. That's fantastic. I like this a lot, Very light, quite heavy. This is great. So yeah, all in all, solid reel. The spool moves a little bit, but it's, I would say, average. Some expensive Daiwas or Shimanos will not have this lob, but average Daiwas or Shimanos will have this lob. And let's test another moving part, that is a roller. I will grab some line here. Actually, not too certain if you can see it, but it kind of has some multicolor rainbow coating, so should be able to see quite well if it rotates or not. So let's go for it. I'll apply a little bit of tension on it, not a lot, just slight. From what I can tell, it's moving probably of the angle. You'll be able to tell better whether it's moving or not. From what I can tell, it's moving. Yeah, it's moving with small pressure. So again, I won't go inside and check, whether it's a bearing or bushing. As long as it's spinning initially, that's all you can ask for. And then it will depend on the usage. You can have the best bearings if you will chuck it into salt water or into the sand. No sealing will help you. No sealing will help you, as far as I am aware. Or if you will chuck it into into deep river, sandy bottom, gravelly bottom, gravel will get everywhere, absolutely everywhere, and you will have to replace the bearings. So yeah, it spins all right. So now let's talk about how the gears feel like when I am turning the handle. So startup inertia is quite good, or energy needed to start spinning the reel. It's quite good. It's not as as good as say a Shimano Wanford or Vanquish, definitely not, but I would say it's similar to Daiwa Fuego, more or less. And now when it comes to the smoothness, again, it feels very, very close to 100 pounds or 100 euros, like Daiwa Fuego, let's say. It feels very, very similar. But again, this is not 100 euros, not you know, $100 or pounds, whatever it might cost to you, no matter where you are. But this is only like $20 or 25, you know, and it feels the same. Again, I can't tell you, you know, how long this reel will last, or if it will last as long as divers do, but like first initial look is very, very positive from my side. And you will see that I got this reel in 2000 size, and I believe it will be exactly the same size as previous one. And I guess I will test it out at some point, and you will be able to see me using this reel. One good thing about these reels is though that they are quite heavy reels. You see, often you will need like a reel that is heavier for longer rods, for example, and these ones are quite heavy. So I have 2000 size, but I would say it's maybe a little bit bigger than 2000 size, definitely bigger than Daiwa's spool is. I would say for Daiwa it's like 3000 size, more or less. So see, 236 grams. Let's say Daiwa Fuego at 3000 or 2500 size would weigh under 200 grams, like 195 if I remember correctly. So, you know, this is like 40 grams more, and you can balance these reels easier with longer rods. So, you know, sometimes weight is advantage in the reel, and light is not better, because if you will have like the best reel you can get, super light, and you will put it on a long rod, balance will be out of whack, and you will not feel, you know, any enjoyment at all when the tip of the rod will feel very heavy, you know, will be pointing down all the setup, and you just won't enjoy fishing with it. But again, you always can get a heavier driver too, even though there aren't many options. There are some Shimano's more though that are heavier, like all the Stradics and so on. But other than that, if you are going for the budget one, this is not a bad option. Actually, it's not a bad option at all for lure fishing, especially if you will, you know, you will want to take a reel that performs quite well, is smooth, you know, and just basic reel, but is cheap. And if there is, you know, a chance of losing the reel, or like reel and a rod, so in these situations these reels will shine, because, you know, if you will, for example, will be going fishing on the boat, and you are not like, you know, very confident boat fisherman, you are just, you know, booked a trip, for example, and you can definitely get one of these reels, take it on a boat and use and abuse it, and if you will lose it, it won't be a big deal, because it's, you know, inexpensive. But again, if you are looking for a decent reel, you know, to use it on a weekly basis, you know, for your own fishing, it's not a bad option either, because everything is in place. It feels well, it feels nice and solid. Drag is great, definitely better than average, and looks smart. Yeah, all in all, looks very positive on paper, and once I test it out, it will be, you know, easier to recommend based on usage and prolonged usage. Now all I can say, it looks very good on paper, fantastic for the price actually, and if you want to try it out, have a look at those links in the description below. But that's it. Thanks for watching, and over and out.